Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Ace of Swords to start. That's a very clear thinking card, right? I feel like this is a card of someone who is has been receiving a lot of like divine downloads, okay? I feel like a lot of revelation is taking place in your life. I think you're somebody who you try to be very honest in your life. You try to speak the truth, every chance you get. I feel like you don't sugarcoat things, I feel like you're very honest, not only with other people, but you're very honest with yourself. I think that's important right now. And it could be that there is a particular matter in your life right now that Spirit needs you to be honest about, to see things clearly, see things for what they truly are. This is a card of, you see that sword, the tip of the sword is piercing into outer space, cutting through all the noise, all the bovine excrement, all the lies, all the everything, and getting to clarity, getting to that sort of silence within us that can receive the divine light, the cosmic rays, the universal energy, or can tap into the universal mind. Okay, I feel like that's what you're doing right now. I feel like there's something very important that Spirit needs you to hear. Okay. Let's put this card into a little bit of context and see what's going on for you. We've got the Magician. Wow. All right, Magician. 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, Princess of Wands. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. 10 of Cups. Holy moly. Do you see what's going on here? We've got fire, water, we've got air, and we've got a whole heck of a lot of earth, and we have major arcana energy as well. You have all the balance of the elements here, okay? I think Spirit is trying to urge you to manifest the thing that you need to manifest, because it is going to be absolutely stellar, extraordinary. This is serious. This is seriously good. Wow, 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Over here, we have a Princess of Cups. You have the Hanged Man. You have an Ace of Wands. And you have that 2 of Cups. It's difficult for you to get started with something. Spirit wants you to hear this right now. And what Spirit wants you to hear is go and do the thing that you've been putting off. Go and do the thing that you've been sacrificing and giving up and ignoring or denying or not allowing yourself to do. It is your truth that's in there somewhere that needs to get out there. It's your skill, it's your talent, it's your hidden talent, right? It's that inner artist. It is all that stuff inside of you that wants to get out into the world and create. You're being told, you're being reminded by the universe that you are the magician. Act like it. Take control over your life and start acting as a magic maker. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. I'm going to set it down right over here. And who is our guardian of the mystery card today? I think Jimbo, the Lizard King, just because he's wearing the same color outfit as I am. So we're not going to look at that card till the end, okay? But it will reveal everything we need to know at the end of the reading. But if you have a prediction for that card at any point during this message, put that down in the comments below the video. Now, let's look around the room. We have our major arcana energy, 2 major arcana energies. And so the magician and the hanged man, well, obviously, yeah, there are going to be a lot of, in order for you to be the magician, there are going to be sacrifices. Okay? You're going to have to let things go. See, what the magician does is you do your very best, and the rest is out of your hands. The rest is basically like we're just resting. We're just sitting here and waiting for the thing to unfold. Okay, so in a way, the magician and the hanged man kind of show the two sides of magic, right? There's our side, your side, where you are trying to channel that divine energy through you and do the very best that you can to honor that will, to honor that creative spark, that divine spark that's within you. Doing your very best to control your environment, to make things happen. But then on the other side of that, the hanged man is kind of like just surrendering to whatever happens. You know, realizing that you can't control everything, that a good magician is going to interact with the world. It's going to be a two-way street of creation. You're co-creating your destiny. You have an influence on life. Life has an influence on you. The one is active, the one is passive. It's a dance of love. That might be why we got the Two of Cups back here, but the Two of Cups could be telling you also to take a chance on doing this thing that seems impulsive, but it seems like it might build something you kind of have been imagining you want in your life. Maybe you're just not sure if it's really going to be fun, if you're really going to enjoy it, or if you're not sure if it's going to last. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a business, maybe it's a vocation, a career, a hobby, a skill, an art form, whatever it is. I feel like it's going to last a long time. Okay? I feel like it's going to be around. I feel like this is serious. So anyway, majors. You got fire and fire. We've got water and water and water. A little bit of air right here in the center. This is a clear thinking, sober-minded, level-headed energy, receiving the divine light, receiving the cosmic rays. This is the antenna on the top of your head. It's a little spiritual Morse code that's coming in. The little, beeps, long and short dashes of signal that are telling you what to do and how to do it, and let's get going. And of course, then the magician is receiving that signal. So this is kind of the magician's got an antenna on the top of their head, because it is it's enlightening you. It's an electrical spark that's flowing through you, and probably you've been feeling that in your aura, in your body, in kind of like the in your I don't know, in the electrical currents flowing through your body. I feel like you can feel that in some way. It's almost as if lightning is kind of shooting out of your fingers right now. And Spirit wants you to use that, wants you to apply that to whatever this work is. Stop holding yourself back or telling yourself that you can't do it. That hanged man in the environment, it's enough. Okay? It almost feels as if you've been sacrificing your will, your desires, your passion, your, intention, or your autonomy even, your magic, for the sake of somebody else or something else that maybe doesn't really deserve your sacrifice. Okay? Right now you have to let yourself move quickly. The timing feels right. You're getting this signal, and this is probably a big yes from the universe. And action right now is going to create more openings. Okay? So the obstacle card is, of course, our magician card, because that is a card that requires that you look inside and see where the blockages are. What is it that's preventing you from letting this divine energy flow through you? The magician has to be the clear channel, the clear, open conduit for that divine energy. And usually that divine light comes in, but it gets jumbled up inside of you. There's blockages, there's knots of karma, there's buttons, there's triggers, there's weak spots and sore spots that prevent you from just transmitting that light out to the world. Well, this is now kind of like there's a clear signal. And you're being told to allow this signal to come in and allow it to flow forth from you. Because we have our Princess of Wands in the background, this is a very impulsive card, but that is kind of this is a firecracker card. And so I think that this is you worried that you're being a little too Aries, you know? That you're being, I'm being a little bit too impulsive, or that you're kind of, you didn't think something through all the way, that this isn't a good idea. I should not do this because it's too risky, or it's not a reasonable thing. Where it feels like you're having a difficult time kind of trusting yourself or believing in yourself here, perceiving yourself to be just thinking recklessly, and so that's kind of preventing you from moving forward. Now, maybe this card, since it's in the past, you did some kind of crazy things in the past. You maybe have made some reckless decisions. You've maybe danced with the tiger a little too many times, and so now you're kind of just saying, no, I'm going to play it safe. Not going to take a risk. I don't know. Nope. I think Spirit's telling you to trust yourself, that this is going to be something that really is going to work. It's going to be something very good for you, okay? It's going to lead to your happiness. It's going to lead to, in the very near future, real satisfaction, real love, real joy, okay? I think this is kind of showing like what you want. You want this fulfillment. You want this to be almost like all or nothing. That this, if you're going to do this, it has to really be, you got to give it everything you've got, and you have to really get a lot out of it, you know. The Ten of Cups is that card of satisfaction. It's that card of satiety. It's that card of, you know, this is the dream to end all dreams, you know. This is the thing you want more than anything else, and there's a reason why you haven't been pursuing it, or that you've been perhaps holding yourself back from pursuing it. Or maybe there's somebody in your life that you're now kind of taking care of, and so it's put your plans on hold a little bit. Okay? Because of the Hanged Man in the environment, I wonder if maybe you're taking care of a sick relative or something like this that's kind of delaying your plans. I think that this is an interesting dynamic. If this is another person in your life, this is a very interesting dynamic. I wonder, too, if the Magician is shifting focus a little bit. Because we have these earth energies at the top and the bottom. It kind of seems like the Magician is passing through that earth energy to get to the love energy, to get to the water. So maybe this is a switch of goals for you. Maybe you had very material goals at one point. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of wealth, right? And very often this is just like literally material wealth. But it's also an opportunity for you to ask yourself, what do you value? What do you really want in life? What is your best life? Okay. I think to get your best life, I think you need the clarity, the honesty of that Ace of Swords. And you have to be willing to sacrifice something. Maybe you're somebody that had a lot of material goals at first, and you kind of wanted the wealth, you wanted like the physical wealth. Maybe now there is a clarity that's saying, look, the physical wealth isn't all there is for you. You still want it, I'm sure, but it doesn't seem like it's the priority now. What seems to be the priority is the interconnectedness, the satisfaction, and the fulfillment. Because I think you're starting to realize that pentacles by themselves are empty shells. You need to have the water inside of those pentacles. And so now you're kind of shifting towards something, and Spirit, I think, is trying to give you this honest truth. Giving you this message, this serious message that you need to hear. That your satisfaction, your happiness, and your fulfillment needs to be the priority. The material energy, or the wealth, or the coins, or the profit, the prosperity, the financial abundance is not your number one goal. Okay? Because getting that financial Or let's put it this way, that the material wealth has to be the means to the end, not the end. So these can still be your goals, obviously, right? But I think your priority is shifting. You're saying family, friends, loved ones, my pets, my plants, my people, the way things are connected together, the way things feel, that's more important to you than just the way things look. Okay? This is underneath the surface. So this is saying that, yeah, you know, Aries, you still care about how things look. You still have a particular aesthetic or a particular like surface appearance that you want your life to have. But you're beginning to realize, you're stepping into that clarity and you're trusting the fact that this really means more than the facade. This is just the covering. This is just the appearance of something. Beneath it, what is inside of that? So these are the questions that you're asking yourself now, and it may be leading you toward a bit of a shift. Maybe not necessarily a shift in what you're doing, but a shift in how you're doing it or how you're prioritizing what you're doing. This can be a card of family. This can be a card of emotional security. This is financial security. What about the emotional security? Okay. And I think you're understanding that having the appearance of the life you want is just the costume. It's just the drapery. It's just the wallpaper and the furniture. This is the people in the house. This is the love. This is the energy inside of this. So you may know what you want your life to look like. This is you now pursuing what you want your life to feel like. And I think Spirit is giving you that clarity and that truth right now, and you're going to be moving forward to manifest. Maybe you find it easy to manifest money. Maybe, yeah, money's easy, right? Maybe it is the deeper meaning and purpose and connection, the deeper security, the deeper love that isn't as easy. But this is now your focus, okay? And so Spirit is telling you now to manifest your emotional security, your emotional life. It could be that you've been focusing very much on the physical security. Or maybe this is physical health. It could be financial health too, you know, that sort of thing. And it may be that you're now focusing on your spiritual health, your emotional health, and emotional security. Your emotional well-being, your emotional satisfaction, okay? Realizing that the material pursuits alone are not spiritually or emotionally satisfying. The Princess of Wands wants you to follow that inner spark. Whatever lights you up from the inside, follow that with clarity. Use your magician energy to manifest it, and this will be your future. Of course, you need to bring the earth energy along too, because it's going to be the vessel for this, the scaffolding, the structure around this. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a tower as our mystery card. Okay, now, Queen of Pentacles at the top. Yeah. This is a card that is looking at the past. So I think you're somebody that is retrospective, you know, looking at your history, looking at the long and winding road that it took you to get where you are. Maybe you went through a lot of schooling, you did a lot of climb the corporate ladder. Maybe you're looking back at your life and realizing all the sacrifices that you had to make to get where you are physically, financially, maybe in terms of your health. Okay, maybe this is the long winding road of your physical recovery, or your path toward physical fitness. Maybe it's the recovery after an illness or an injury. But you're looking at your current position and you're thinking, it's a result of all my past decisions. And maybe you're looking at your life now and the clarity is that it's missing that deeper component of love, of family, pets, plants, people, satisfaction, meaning, purpose, depth. Okay? And so looking at the past also puts us in touch with that princess of wands as well. And maybe looking back at the past and you're seeing how you've sacrificed that sort of creative spark for the sake of material comfort, or for the for the security, for the material security or well-being. Okay. And I wonder if the clarity that Spirit is offering you now is for you to see that this spark that you've sacrificed or postponed is really what's going to lead you to a deeper fulfillment. Maybe this is right where you're supposed to be. You've made some progress in your career, or you've focused on your physical health, and to do that, maybe you've had to sacrifice some of the other interests or things that you like in life, the hobbies, the passions, the creativity, right? To do the very practical goals. I think you're shifting out of a strictly practical life and getting toward a life of creativity and love and connection and beauty and harmony and those deeper desires that you have. Okay. So begin that spark again. Renew this. Whatever this was, or whatever this is going to be, tap into that spark again and let it be the electrical current that's flowing through the magician. Okay. Start whatever that thing is. Yeah. The Queen of Pentacles is also a card of endings. Well, transitions, really. All the queens of the tarot are cards of ending something and how to process an ending, how to end something so that you can begin what's next. All the queens are turning points, going from past to future. So the Queen of Pentacles has to ask, what's ending in your life? And how are you processing that ending? How are you dealing with it? How are you ensuring that the ending is a complete and responsible and healthy ending so that you can begin something new? You can begin the next phase. Maybe this is a rite of passage in your life. Maybe it's a transitional milestone for you. Maybe you're going from the workforce to retirement or something, right? Maybe you're finally moving out of the city. You're going to move to the country. You're going from earth to water. Maybe you're going from a landlocked state to you're going to go move to the coast or something, right? Sounds wonderful. But this is, realizing that a certain section of time is coming to a close, and how you're dealing with that, what you learned from that, and kind of asking, what's important in that. And, sometimes the Queen of Pentacles has a little bit of regret. Looking back at life and seeing all the choices that you didn't make, or the choices that you did make that sort of postponed something else that you really wanted. Sometimes the Queen of Pentacles is yearning for something from the past. We can't go back to the past, but what we can do is we can kind of summon that energy again. And we can move forward. And we can get this kind of happiness, satisfaction, and bliss, right? And get this bliss. So ask yourself, what is that spark that's going to lead to your ultimate fulfillment? As you pass through this gateway or threshold in your earthly human life, maybe it's a particular anniversary, a particular milestone for you, in terms of your physical fitness or health. Maybe it's in, your financial, you reached a certain mark. You're passing through like a waypoint, okay? And your spiritual compass is pointing you toward what is really important and what's really going to bring you happiness. Maybe this is family, friends, pets, plants. Maybe it's a love relationship. Maybe it's more creativity, more art. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's sailboating. Maybe it's a book club. Who knows, right? Maybe we're going to play racquetball or something, or pickleball, whatever it's called now. I don't know what it is. And the point is, it doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is why you're doing it and whether or not you're going to allow yourself to pursue this. This is really, really good energy, this horizontal path. The creative spark, the mental clarity, the spiritual, the conscious certainty, and your ability to create whatever's coming next for you. And what is coming next is this bliss, okay? The magician at some point makes that realization that we're no longer going to create the life that somebody else wants us to create. Maybe this is the transition from you working for somebody else to working for yourself. Okay? Maybe this is you kind of being done, feeling like you have to live your life a certain way in a certain place, with a certain job, doing things a certain way, right? Moving away from that and then thinking, I'm going to do things the way I want. Maybe this is just like, you're going to start dressing with more flair, or like you're going to redecorate your house, or maybe you're going to move, or maybe you're going to find a job that maybe doesn't pay as much but feels better. Maybe you're going from a place that has too much restriction to a place that is more open and more free. Okay? You may be on a more biological kind of transition cycle. Okay, so maybe there's a certain point in your physical life. Maybe this is a particular milestone in the biological sense, rather than the kind of professional or financial sense, or even physical fitness sense. But what it's leading you toward is deeper fulfillment and deeper meaning in life. Maybe it is retirement. Maybe this is some other phase of life that you're entering into. This is going to be good. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Your first card on the Path of the Dove, your general energy, is the Princess of Cups. Yeah. And to me, this feels like somebody who is listening to their heart, somebody that feels like a kid again and just wants to love, wants to feel things. And if you feel something, you're gravitating toward it. Yeah. And it does feel like a shift of that kind of energy too, because of the fire to the water kind of thing as well. Though I think that both of these princesses feel a little impulsive. Both of these are very impulsive cards. This is impulse to behavior. This is I'm inspired, I'm excited, I'm doing it. This is I feel a feeling. I feel happy, I'm going in a happy direction. I'm behaving in a happy way. I feel sad, I'm behaving in a sad way. So maybe this is about you really not masking who you are anymore. When you're excited, you're excited. When you're happy, you're happy. When you're sad, you're sad. Not trying to be something you're not. But also be careful with this card, because we don't want to be led around on a leash by our emotions. And when you're having a bad day, well, then everybody's having a bad day. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to be that way, but we don't want to hide how we feel. Right? If you're in love, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're excited, if you're scared, if whatever the whole range of emotions, then that's it. And that's how you feel. And so this seems like it's clarity into your emotional body, and how your emotions have been perhaps sacrificed in your life. That you've learned, maybe from a young age, that it's easier to get along in life when you don't really share your feelings, when you hide them away, when you just pretend, even if inside you're kind of, there's something urging you inside to do something different. Even when you don't feel good inside, but you're just going to kind of smile and go along anyway. You know what I mean? So I think that this is very important, that it feels like there is a freedom now for you to feel. There's a feeling that you can be yourself now. Yeah. That we can listen to our feelings and we can be guided by them. So I think you're really getting interested. I don't think this is about any one particular, oh, finally now I'm done, I'm retired, finally I can paint, Maybe it is for you. I feel like this is a lot of things. I feel like maybe it's painting one day, maybe it's, pickleball the next, maybe it's gardening the day after that. Whatever. You're able to just kind of dance as you want to dance and improvise as you want to improvise. Yeah. You don't want to let this card really drive the car, though. This is, you can't let the kids drive the car, but they can have a say in where you're going. Kids have really good ideas, Let's go swimming. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go to the park. Those are great ideas. So we can listen to those ideas, those feelings. So I feel like this is really about you honoring how you feel and learning to trust how you feel about things, and saying, if you have a bad feeling about something, you don't force yourself to go do it anyway. If you have a really good feeling about something, you don't force yourself not to go do it, which is kind of the hangman. That's why the hangman's upside down. Things are inverted. Things are kind of backwards and inside out here. And I think you're correcting that. I do think there's somebody in your life that you've been taking care of. I don't know, a family member or a friend, somebody who's been either injured or ill and you've been taking care of somebody, yeah? That might be part of this life transition or life passage aspect as well, okay? So just maybe. But the hanged man in the environment seems to be a relationship for which you've been sacrificing your true feelings, your true energy, your true will, your true desires and inspirations and aspirations. Okay, and I feel like that's what's being illuminated for you. Spirit is shining a flashlight on your life and showing you a particular way. Maybe it's through a relationship or just through your attitude or maybe this is internal, but Spirit is shining a flashlight on the way that you have denied your true essence in order to please somebody or something else, some other entity, okay? Giving your blood, sweat, and tears to something that, I'm not going to say they don't deserve it, but they don't deserve all of it, at least, okay? Giving your blood, sweat, and tears to something that is asking for too much or perhaps taking you for granted, or perhaps through no fault of their own has led you to sort of deny certain things about you, certain things that you want, the way you want to live, the things that you want to feel. I feel like you want to dance around the room, but you don't. I feel like you want to just kind of say, I'm going to go get some ice cream today, but you don't, okay? And whether that's because you feel an obligation towards somebody else that you have then responsibilities and you have to sacrifice for them, or if this is maybe a perceived kind of oppression. Yeah, well, there could be a relationship that you're in where it feels as if you have to mask who you are and not be who you are. Well, sometimes the magician is the persona too, you know. So maybe the Spirit is trying to really illuminate your persona and say, is your persona an authentic representation of who you are? We all have a persona. We all have many of them, right? And they're all us. They're all parts of us. But the clarity, shining the light on that persona, may be asking, do we like the persona that we have now? Do we like our character? Do we like our style? Do we like our mannerisms? Do we like our choices? Do we like who we are? The magician can change the personality and change the personal reality. Spirit's asking if this situation that you're in right now, because of this hanged man in the environment, do you like who you are? Do you like the persona that your essential self has sort of created? It just sort of grew out of you, right? It's maybe not always an intentional thing. We don't always intentionally create our persona, right? A little bit, I guess we do. It's something that grows out of us, you know, like a mushroom growing out of a tree stump or something, right? I don't know why that image came to me. Do you forage? Maybe you forage. And the question is, do we like that version of me that's growing out of this situation? And I think that you're making some changes. I think that you're going to make a more intentional, more, I don't know if we want to call them spontaneous choices, but you're being a little bit more, a little bit more authentic maybe, a little bit more true to who you are, a little bit more childlike, a little bit more carefree, a little bit more, this is how I am, and I don't really care what other people think. Because you're done suffering and sacrificing and hiding yourself away or feeling obligated to deny certain aspects of yourself in order to please other people. Okay? The Ace of Wands in the position of the fear, worry, and concern. Well, this is you holding your own torch and holding your own lamp out to the world and probably worried about how that's going to be received by the world, or how other people will kind of, see the light. Anytime you turn on a light, you attract a lot of things, right? People will see that light and they'll gravitate toward that light. Well, you don't want to attract the wrong things. So I feel like you're flipping a switch in your life, I feel like in a way you're kind of rewiring the system. You're replacing old patterns with new beliefs, okay? I think you're a very sensitive person, highly sensitive, okay? This is the card of inspiration. This is the card of vision. This is the card of, you are enlightened by the divine energy of the universe. You are a fiery spirit of consciousness. And start acting like it, You don't have to hide that fire away. You don't have to hide that flame. Taking pride in who you are. Making choices and establishing a life slowly over the course of time. Building up the life that really matters to you. That's not an empty shell, but is a deep and fulfilling experience. The Two of Cups at the end, that's love. And you know what this feels like to me? Self-love. It feels like you love yourself and you love your life. And this is the motive. This is what it's all about. Your motive is love. You're going to create a version of yourself that you can love. You're loving yourself as you are, but you're making choices based on that kind of love and authenticity and what feels right and how your soul is guiding you, not just your emotions, not just your surface level, at ice cream, it feels good. No, not like that, really. But in that deeper sense of honoring who you are, okay? And building up yourself in a way that you want to be, by doing the things that you want to do in life, by being that kind of person. Maybe it's you're a person that really wants to be a reader. You want to read a lot. You want to have a lot of books. Well, that's going to be your focus. Maybe you're somebody that wants to have more pets. Well, then you're going to go in that direction too. So it is about the particular details, but it's really more about why you choose some things over other things. Getting to know your preferences a little bit. Okay. I think you're choosing love, self-love, divine love, platonic love, and romantic love. This is all the loves. Yeah. I think you're choosing love. And this has to be done with clarity. Otherwise, you're choosing things that maybe a little part of you loves, but it isn't the fulfilling, this is like a true love. And yes, it could be romance. It could be that you are now finally realizing what kind of partner you want and who you want to be in a relationship. Maybe this is asking you, the relationship you're in now, do you like who you are? And you're making a choice now to move forward in a direction that feels more true and more real, more pure. Let's look at our mystery card, yeah? I would love to see the Lover's card. I think would be pretty good right now. The Empress, I think, would be great. A 9 or a 10 of Cups, more water energy, I think, is going to be good. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments below the video. We have a King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is someone that needs to change. This is someone that's been sitting on that throne for so long that life has moved on without them, that life has just grown around them and changed around them, but they're stuck. This is a stuck energy. This is somebody that's been building a life that they don't really want anymore. They've been stuck in the same mode. So really, this is a card that's kind of saying it's time for a turn. It's time for a change. It's time for a pivot. It's time for a reboot or a rebirth. Okay? It's kind of saying we're done building this particular life that you've been building. It's done. It's built. What do you really want to build now? Okay? Been stuck in one place for so long, in one frame of mind, in one habit, one function, in one life, one version of ourselves for so long, that all they see, the vines and the plants, they've grown right over you. They're started to you've been sitting there for so long, the grass grew over your legs. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like saying, oh, it's time to move. It's time to get up and dance. It's time to like loosen up. You know, when you've been sitting in your office chair for too long and you finally realize that you got to get up and move around, and it starts to feel really good to move around, just to get up and take a walk, do some stretches, some side bends or something. That's what we need to do with our life. We need more love, more spontaneity, more satisfaction, more connections, more pets, more plants, more people, more movement, less stagnation, less repetition, especially less building of the life that we're not really sure it satisfies us anymore. Okay? Change, I think, is needed here. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries are on Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.